So in last lecture we have started with the observational astronomy, and in that we have seen different coordinate systems which are used to do the observations of stars or celestial objects from the surface of Earth. Amongst that we have seen in the last lecture the first type of astronomical coordinate system, that is horizon coordinate system. Okay, in that we know that we need only two angles to locate a star in the horizon system, that is called as altitude and the azimuth. If you know these two angles, you can locate the star from the surface of Earth. But there are certain drawbacks to the horizon coordinate system. Because of that, the drawbacks are like it is very much position dependent. It means if you are locating certain star by using a horizon coordinate system from certain place on the Earth, those coordinates for the stars will not be same from the different place. Okay, so it is a place dependent one. So that is why it is not that much reliable to do the observations. So the second type of coordinate system, that is equatorial coordinate system, is the one which is used by scientists to do the observations. In the equatorial coordinate system, again there are two types. One is a local equatorial system, and second one is a universal equatorial system. Before we start studying the equatorial coordinate system, we should first know certain basic concepts and basic terms which are used in the astronomical coordinate system to locate the stars or the celestial objects. Some of them we have seen in the last lecture as well, so it will be like a revision to you all. Now suppose this is the observer. This is observer's horizon. Okay. So the point which is above the head of the observer on, at the top is called as a zenith. We denote it as Z. The point which is below the observer is called as a nadir, which is never visible to any observer at any place on the surface of Earth. That is called as a nadir. Now, depending upon the position of observer on surface of Earth. Now here we are considering any arbitrary position of the observer on the surface of Earth, any arbitrary position. We have to define a north celestial pole and south celestial pole of the observer. Okay, and the point on the horizon of observer which is nearer to the north celestial pole denotes the north of Earth. This is south. So if you know north and south, you can get east and west. So this will become east and this will become west direction. Okay. Now again, north celestial pole and south celestial pole depends upon position of an observer on the surface of Earth. If observer is at the north pole on the Earth, then the zenith of the observer and the north celestial pole of the observer will coincide. Okay. Here we are considering any arbitrary position of observer. That is why I am taking any random angle of north celestial pole and south celestial pole with respect to horizon of the observer. Now the task is to draw a celestial equator. Okay. Now one thing that you have to remember is celestial equator is always perpendicular to the north and the south celestial poles. So that is why the celestial equator will become like this. It is always perpendicular to north celestial pole and south celestial pole. So this becomes the celestial equator. We will name all those things. This is horizon of the observer. This is celestial equator. Zenith and nadir we have denoted first only. Then we have denoted the four directions: north, south, east and west. Okay. Now suppose the star is located here. Now we want to find out the local equatorial coordinates for this star, which is at point suppose P. Now one thing again to remember is in a local equatorial coordinate system, to denote a star we need two angles. So those two angles are, first one is R angle and second one is declination. Now we will see how to measure those R angle and the declination of the star. Now we know that stars it has a diurnal motion. Okay, stars has a diurnal motion. So due to that, in a 24 hours of a duration, the star will make this trajectory. It will follow this trajectory in the 24 hours of duration. So this is called as diurnal circle of a star. It means in a 24 hours it will follow this trajectory which is shown over here. Okay, so if you see this now from the perspective of this observer, the star is said to be rising when it is rising from the horizon towards like from east to west. Okay, so it is going following this path to rise, this path to rise from east to west. Again it will be going down here, and it will be from this point it is going downwards from the horizon. Okay, so here the star is rising and here the star is setting. So in a 24 hours of duration, the star is making or following this path, and that path is called as a diurnal circle of a star. Now to find out the position of the star in terms of equatorial coordinate system, we should know the R angle and the declination of the star. Now we will see how to measure the R angle and the declination of the star. Now from this star we have to draw a great circle which is passing through the star, the north celestial pole and the south celestial pole. Okay, so when we are drawing this from the great circle from the star which is passing through north celestial pole, the star at point P, and the south celestial pole. Okay, the point where the star where the trajectory or the great circle is cutting or is intersecting the celestial equator, that we have to mark. So this is the point. Suppose I give this point name as J. Okay, so this is where the great circle from the star, it is intersecting the celestial equator. So this point or this angle JP is called as an R angle. This is called as R angle. Now the next task is to find out the declination of the star. Now, to find out the declination of the star, we have to name. Now this celestial equator is intersecting the great circle or the meridian, local meridian of the observer or the observer's meridian. Suppose at point R and T, if I nominate this point as R and T, and this circle Z N Nadir I will denote as N prime S. Okay, this great circle is called as a local meridian or observer's meridian. Okay, when it is called as local meridian, when the great circle is passing through zenith of the observer. Okay, it is called as a local or the observer's meridian. Now the celestial equator where it is intersecting the local meridian at 2 points, that is point R and at point T. Now to find out the declination of the star at point P, we have to find out the angle between point R and point J, where J is the point where the great circle passing through the star intersects the celestial equator. Now this angle RJ is called as declination. Okay. Now if you observe, as the position of the star is changing as it is following its diurnal circle or the diurnal motion, this angle, declination angle, does not changes. Okay, so what is changing is the R angle of the star changes as the star is making its diurnal motion. So in the local equatorial system, what is happening is declination remains constant though the star is following a diurnal motion, but the R angle is subject to change. Okay, so again it has certain limitations and it does not give a fixed coordinates for the stars which we want to observe. So for that we have to follow a third type of equatorial system, that is called as a universal equatorial system. So in the last lecture we started with the positional astronomy. In that we are studying the different astronomical coordinate systems which are used to locate the stars or the celestial objects from the surface of Earth. Amongst that, we have seen the first equatorial astronomical coordinate system which is used, that is the horizon coordinate system. We know that in the horizon coordinate system, to locate a star from the surface of Earth on the celestial sphere, we need only two angles. One is called as altitude and second one is azimuth. If you know these two angles, you can find out the position of the star. You can locate the star in the sky. But there are certain drawbacks to the horizon coordinate system, and the drawbacks is it is very much position dependent or a place dependent. It means the coordinates of the star which are given from the certain place on the surface of Earth, it won't be same if you change the place, okay, from in the surface of Earth, it won't be same. That is why it is not much reliable one. So to overcome that drawback, we use a different coordinate system that is called as the equatorial coordinate system, in which the coordinates that we get, they are fixed. So if you want to locate the star from anywhere from the surface of Earth, you should be knowing this equatorial. If you know the equatorial coordinate system, coordinates of the that star, you can locate the star very easily. Again, in the equatorial coordinate system, there are two types. One is called as local equatorial coordinate system. Second one is universal equatorial coordinate system. Before starting with the equatorial coordinate system, we should be knowing certain basic concepts or basic terms which are used or while doing or while finding out the coordinates, equatorial coordinates. So those things I have listed down on the screen, you can see. So amongst this, some things we have seen while we were studying the horizon coordinate system, but again we will do a quick revision of those. So the first thing is zenith and nadir. Okay, so we will draw one by one all these points or all these things that we should know. Now suppose this is an observer and this is horizon of the observer. Okay, so the point which is above the observer, on the head of the observer, is called as zenith. This we know. So this is zenith, we denote it by Z. The point which is below the observer is called as nadir. We will denote nadir by Z prime. Okay, so first two things we have done, we know what is zenith, we know what is nadir. The second thing is north celestial pole and the south celestial pole that we have to find out. Now what is north celestial pole? Now depending upon the position of the observer on the surface of Earth where it is located, we have to define the north celestial and south celestial poles. Now if the observer is at the north pole on the Earth, then the north celestial pole of the observer will coincide with the zenith of the observer. Getting it? Now here we are considering any arbitrary position of the observer on surface of Earth. So for that arbitrary position, we assume that that north celestial pole is making any arbitrary angle lambda with the horizon of the observer. So this will become north celestial pole, and the point which is opposite to the north celestial pole will become south celestial pole. Again, on the horizon of the observer, the point which is nearer to the north celestial pole will denote north on the Earth, and this will denote south on the Earth. Okay, once you know north and south, we can easily find out east and west directions. So if this is north, this is south, this will become east and this will become west direction. So from these things that we have listed over here, we know what is zenith, what is nadir, what is north celestial pole, what is south celestial pole, and we have found out the north, south, east and west directions. Now the next thing that we should know is what is celestial equator. Now how to draw a celestial equator? For that you have to remember one thing, that celestial equator is always perpendicular to the north and the south celestial poles. Okay, so wherever is your north and south celestial pole located, your celestial equator will be perpendicular to it, like this. Now the diagram, in this diagram it may not look perfectly perpendicular, we have to assume it. So this becomes the celestial equator. Again, if we have considered the observer to be at the north pole, then north celestial pole would be coinciding with the zenith, then the celestial equator will be coinciding with the observer's horizon. Getting it? So this much idea you should be getting from this. So we will name all those things. Now this becomes horizon and this becomes celestial equator. Now the next thing, this is done. Next thing that we should know is observer's meridian. Okay, now what is observer's meridian? Now this great circle, which is ZN Z prime S, the great circle. We know what is great circle, that we have studied in the last lecture. ZN Z prime S. Okay, this great circle is called as observer's horizon, observer's meridian or local meridian. How to understand which is observer's meridian is, if the great circle is passing through the zenith of the observer, it is called as observer's meridian or a local meridian. Okay, so again we have listed down this thing from the listed things that we should be knowing. Now what is remaining is diurnal circle, R angle and the declination. Now these are the things which are related to finding out the coordinate of the stars. Before finding out the coordinate of the star, we should be knowing these much things, that is what is zenith. We should be able to locate these much things on the celestial sphere. What is zenith, where is nadir, what is north celestial pole and south celestial pole, the north, east, south, west directions on the surface of earth, according to the observer wherever it is, and the celestial equator. Now we suppose that the star that again the celestial equator where it is intersecting with the observer's meridian, we will note denote those points as R and T. Okay. Now we suppose that star is located over here somewhere. Now this star will follow a certain trajectory. It is having a diurnal motion. Okay. So in a period of 24 hours, it is rising and setting wherever the observer is from the observer's perspective. Okay, all the stars, all the objects which are present in the sky, they are rising and setting. Okay, so rising and setting is they are following a diurnal path, or they are following a diurnal motion, it is called as. So this is the diurnal circle which is followed by the star that we want to whose coordinates we want to find out. The star is supposed to be here, P. Now here you can see that this is observer, this is observer's horizon. So when the star is following this trajectory from east to west and here, okay, so when it is following this, suppose I name this as A, B, C and D. Okay, so in the arc length A, B, C, star is rising, okay, or it is on the northern hemisphere and northern hemisphere, and it is visible to the observer. And when it is in the portion C, D, A, okay, it is in the southern hemisphere and it is not visible to the observer, and it is set for the observer. So this is called as a diurnal circle. In the 24 hours of time, the star will follow this path. Why 24 hours? 24 hours is the time taken by Earth to make a one rotation around its axis, own axis. So this is called as a diurnal circle. Now the task is to find out the equatorial or the local equatorial coordinates for the star which is at P. Now local equatorial coordinate needs again two coordinates. For that, those two coordinates are the one is called as R angle and the second one is called as declination. Okay, these are the two coordinates which are going to tell us about the exact location of the star. Now how to find out R angle is, we have to draw a great circle which is passing through north celestial pole, the star P and the south celestial pole. Okay. Now this great circle where it intersects the celestial equator, I denote this point as J. This is the point at which the great circle which is passing through the star and the north and the south celestial pole is intersecting the celestial equator. Okay. Now the point where celestial equator is cutting or intersecting the observer's meridian, that is R, the angle from R to J. Okay, the angle from R to J, or the arc RJ or angle RJ, is called as R angle, and the angle PJ denotes the declination of the star, or the declination angle of the star. So PJ will give us the declination angle, and RJ will give us the R angle. Okay, so if you can imagine a bit, okay, as the star is making its following its diurnal motion or a diurnal path, okay, so as it is following the path, the declination angle will not change. Okay, so the declination will remain same wherever the angle is going, but the R angle, that is RJ, will be changing as the star will be following its diurnal motion. Okay, so that is why again this is the limitation of the local meridian coordinate system. So it depends upon the time and the place, okay, from where the observer is observing the star. So this is one of the limitations. So what will happen, the declination will remain same, but the R angle will be changing as the star will be following its diurnal motion. So this is called as a local equatorial system. Now to again overcome this drawback of the R angle, we have to, or we follow third type of coordinate system, that is called as a universal equatorial coordinate system, that we will see